Hey, this is Tim Pierce. Miles Schon is a working guitar player here in LA and the Bay Area. Even though he and I are exactly 3 decades apart, it turns out we're influenced by a lot of the same guitar players. So here's a quick look at what we call the British invasion. Click the link below if you want to check out the masterclass. You and I were listening and being influenced by the same guitar players at the same age, but decades apart, if that makes sense. When I was 12, I was listening to some of the same people you were listening to. So you want to look at Spoonful, that'd be fun. You're switching between major and minor, that's really, that's very Clapton. I love that step and that bend. And hanging out up here above that position.
I think, Page does that a lot too, but I think Clapton is a little bit smoother with it, where Page has got more of that like Buddy Guy kind of aggressive.
Right.
He's probably the hardest to copy.
So when you heard that riff, did you know it was Peter Green, or did you find out later it was Peter
found
Green?
out way later.
Way later.
And I loved that riff, and it's just one of those things that I think when it downloaded into my iTunes, it had some random name on it, so I always thought it was somebody else. But yeah, I've always loved that riff, and the lyrics always made me laugh.
Let's move to Beck. Mess up a very simple riff because I was going, whoa! I forgot what I was playing, dude.
It's so simple, but it's not. It's not you got to count it.
I do. I had to count the space every time, or else I make the space longer. Nice ending. So Beck was a big influence for you too, right?
Yeah.
Which record in particular?
Blow by Blow.
Blow by Blow, yeah.
Yeah. I think, when I heard 'Cause We Ended His Letters.
That's a really good tone for it. What do you got? The neck pickup?
And just the way he works his volume, and it's masterful. Love that last
You're
one.
inspiring. Okay, so now you can go again. and put little red dots where they're all born, and then we'll put connections between the dots, and then we'll make up a conspiracy about how they all drank a certain water or something.
Right? I was thinking the same thing.
Page for me is amazing because he's like this master composer, masterful record producer, composer, combined with the most irreverent and free soloing I've ever heard.
It's a lot more difficult to emulate him, I feel like.
And even next to impossible, some of the stuff.
I mean, he's got all these rakes and big bends. The way he does them is his own voice. It's almost like an Albert King or one of those guys. It's got his own voice to it. And
it was valuable because that's the stuff they kept on the record. I mean, he kept really spontaneous, loose soloing on their records, and that's one of the things that makes them great. And then that combined with a very, very the most serious compositions, I mean, just incredible, almost prog rock compositions at a certain point. One of your main influences early on is Tony Iommi, right?
Yeah, Black Sabbath. There's an aggressiveness, and I think when you're 13 or 14, every kid has got a little bit of angst.
You did a lot of major third playing on the F sharp, and I didn't even think of that till I heard you do it. So then when I started soloing, I kept landing on the major third, but that was your influence. Your next Brit is Ritchie Blackmore. How long ago did you start listening to Ritchie? Was it last year or the year before? Or?
I would say in the last year.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, he's one of those people that as soon as you hear anything that he's done, you realize you've heard him your whole life.
Right.
Kind of, and it's all kind of subconsciously there, but never put two and two together.
You and I both do this kind of thing. When we put Ritchie Blackmore into our soloing chops. I love that. I usually use that one myself. A couple of times a year on somebody's solo on somebody's record.
That's one of those riffs too when, I didn't even know who was doing that riff or where it came from. It's already in your playing because it's such a signature sound. I think it's just strange that all these guys come from the same place, man. Like, they're all within blocks of each other or, towns over. It's almost like if we all came from LA.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, from what I heard, that they all kind of were in the same scene and were checking each other out and knew of each other and knew to watch out for each other before any of them kind of blew up. Yeah, that
kind of friendly, healthy kind of camaraderie and rivalry, exactly. Awesome, Miles. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, what kind of motorcycle is that you rode up on?
FXR.
I don't know anything about bikes.
It's a Dyna. Well, it's not a Dyna. It's an early Dyna, and FXR is an old Harley.
Okay, so it looked like a Harley Davidson to me, and so you're saying it is a Harley Davidson.
Yeah, it is.
And did you do anything to make it louder than it? Is that how loud it usually is? I mean, it sounded really throaty.
It's got an aftermarket pipe, but those are pretty much what they are. You know, the older bikes are a little bit louder like that.
Okay, so the only thing you didn't have was a Marshall amp. You had 2 guitars, and you had your pedal board.
Yeah.
And you got to figure out how to get a speaker and an amp in those saddlebags. You can probably get an amp in there, right?
Oh, man. Well, I'm working on finding the right bracket to throw on the back and strap one on behind the seat right there.
I want to see that. I'm going to film that.
Yeah.